So now that we've got what we're looking for a measurement, which is 6 inches exactly, I'm going to show you how this saw works. And I want 4 pieces 6 inches long, but I want it to do it by itself without me interfering. I usually like to let it cut the first one with me watching it just to make sure everything looks good. I'll measure the first piece, and then if I'm doing a big run where I have, like, let's say more than 10 parts, I'll measure every 10 parts just to make sure that everything's still cutting within parameter. Nothing's decided to slip or let go. I just noticed something that's not right, so I'm going to fix it now. So the problem here ended up being that the feed rollers were no longer level to the saw, and this was causing the part to interact with the bandsaw blade at a bit of an angle, and really that doesn't provide for an accurate part. So I ended up re-leveling everything with the machinist level. It took about 3 hours, time well spent really, to make sure that every part comes out correctly. The edge is usually pretty clean. As far as the surface finish goes, you can see it's nice and shiny. There's consistent hatch marks on it. What I'm about to do is start wiping down the bandsaw coolant and just getting it reasonably clean. Bandsaw coolant can be very sticky, and when it's old, it can actually be somewhat toxic. There's bacteria that likes to form in it, and it can cause some pretty nasty infections. So I try to get as much of that coolant off as I can. At the same time, just kind of put hands on the part, make sure that everything looks the way it's supposed to. What I'm also looking for here is the burrs. You see I just pulled a burr off of there. The burrs can be incredibly sharp, and that's why I'm about to file these down. Burrs can cause lots of different problems. You know, aside from being a safety issue, they can also cause parts to not line up in a fixture correctly, or if you're taking this and trying to weld on it, that burr can cause problems in your weld. So I try to make sure all the burrs are removed, both for, you know, the customer's safety and also just because it's the right thing to do. Taking the burr off the part and taking the coolant off the part are really great ways to show a customer that you both value their safety and also their time, and that you take pride in what you're selling them. The fact that I can cut these out on a computer saw and they're very, very precise and I can do it very quickly really doesn't mean anything if someone gets hurt while handling the parts, or if they can't use the parts because they're too dirty. So I just want to make sure that whatever someone's buying from me is the best that it can be.